Hi, you guys. Look at Bubba. Hey, Bubba. Do you want to be on camera? Bubba says hello. She's so funny. Look. She took a big chunk out. Her dreads, they get so bad she won't let me do anything. Anyway, I'm gonna try and share space with her right now. Hi, you guys. This is kind of impromptu. Well, this is impromptu. I was doing something else and I was called to bring out the medicine cards book. And, you know, Isis wanted to come in. My medicine bag came in. So I was like, all right, we're bringing the medicine. We're doing the medicine. So I'm just, ooh, when I looked up, it was 55. Interesting. Because it wasn't planned, I'm just going to do whatever they want me to do. I literally, like, I just realized, I'm like, I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? So it's 10:03 where I live. And my phone's at 96%. So I guess I'll give you guys either one message, maybe nobody's gonna come live and it's just gonna be whatever, or I have a feeling like if people come on here, they are allowed to, there are, I think there's 52, but let me make sure. Yeah, so there's 52 spirit animals, and I didn't even brush my hair. There's 52 spirit animals in this book. And so, oh, hello. If you want to be seen, okay, somebody came on and then they went off. That's okay. Whatever's meant to be will be. But there's 52 spirit animals. So if anyone comes on here and they would like to, if they have any questions, or this is free reading time. Hold on, I'm gonna grab my glasses. I'll be right back. All right. Ooh, let's scoot that over. That's awesome. Okay. I'm back. So I guess Bubba wants to hang out. There we go. I heard 43. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to start with 43. And this could be, maybe this is just like a collective message that we all need right now. Or maybe one or more of you will, come on while I'm here. And you know what? Let's just put that out into the universe. Spirit. Anyone, anywhere, if it's in their greatest and highest good, may they find their way here right now live. And if there's a message that they really desperately seek and need, may we help them on their path. May they find their spirit medicine today through the medicine cards, the spirit animals. Okay, so 43. 43. And feel free, like, if I'm not looking up, like, feel free to come on, or I mean to, message. If you don't want to be seen, that's okay. You know what's interesting is the person that popped on and then popped off. I wonder if 43 was for them and their higher self wanted the spirit medicine. Ooh, can you hear there's a storm outside? Ooh, spider spirit medicine. Ooh, and I looked up, it was 358. So interesting, threes have been coming up a lot lately. I just got chills, but also 58 is the number 13. 13 is the number of the divine feminine, the goddess. Hold on. You can see. Actually, I think there's a way you can flip this when you're on here. Let me see. Yay! Yeah, dude. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so 43. I feel like they're trying to get me like in the frame they want me to be in. Because I'm just like, whatever. Ooh, and I looked up, it was 434, which 34 is 43 backwards. Okay, so each one of these has like a really cool little poem. And this one says, Spider, weaving webs of delight, welcome me a peaceful. I have to start over because I saw welcome. I did not see weave. So maybe for some of you, things aren't coming through the way you want them to because you need to welcome them in. Also, I noticed lately that my patterns are hindering me. And these are just patterns that I've come into, due to circumstances where I live, people, places, situations. And now things have like shifted and changed. And I swear to you, it's as if spirit came through and was like, and just like blew away, you know, um, what's it? Forget your worries, come on, get happy. Right? They're like, we're gonna chase all the blues away. It's like, sing hallelujah, come on, yeah, Judy, let's go. That's awesome. I just smoked a bowl before this too. Hi, welcome. Who's ever here? Feel free to speak. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I was just called to come on here live. I'm reading from the medicine card book. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I swear the dragons are like pushing through. The dragons are just like, I'm telling you guys, the next year is gonna be, I got excited and I got a fluffy in my eye. The next year, this 2024 to 2025, until the year of the dragon is complete, we are going to see so much magic. We are all going to see things that we've never experienced before, but only if you allow it. Because what really charged this message and these readings from spirit, what really charged it for me was the energy that I have been feeling in my own life. And I had this moment today where I had to reach out to a fellow seer and ask them, what they felt, what they, as I was telling them what I was feeling and seeing. Because sometimes, the muggle wants to go back to the 3D and wants to control it and wants it whatever. But it's like, I know that whomever my higher self is trying to help elevate me to where I need to be. With that being said, I had this aha moment where I was like, did I just skip dimensions? And I started to have these very interesting moments. So I feel like I'm breaking down barriers and realizing that it's all happening at once. And so it's it's almost like there's like a tornado going around all of us. And if you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy is up in the eye of the tornado, she's seeing all these things that are going past her, right? But it's really her subconscious, it's her mind. Like, it's like these people. Auntie M is an imagery of kindness, and whatever. It's like the Wicked Witch is the imagery of the darkness of the welcome. And you can be known or not be known. This is totally up to you. You can be known. You're please welcome to say hello. I'm going to be doing some readings, and since you're here, you can get a free reading. I'm offering free readings today through the book. So if you want to start thinking of a number between 1 and 52, whatever comes to you first, don't overthink it, and then write it down in the comments. And that is and it could be for any question you have. And you don't have to say what the question is. But anyway, I'm just having all of these breakthroughs today. I'm having all of these moments. I'm so grateful for all of you, and just to have someone that I can like reach out today and just kind of get okay, like what's happening, what's going on, who am I, who am I, what is bleeding together. So I kind of feel like the Wizard of Oz is a metaphor for exactly what I said, like, different parts of Dorothy. It's really just the story of her and herself. But if that's the story, then it's the same for the Munchkins too, right? The Munchkin is very real. So, and I say Munchkin, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be rude or awful to anything, my heart. What I mean by that is that, like, in their world Munchkin land, where she lands, it's like they have their la 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 la, like they're in their happy little fucking world, man. And like, here she comes out of nowhere, and they're like, what is she? Where does she, who are you? And she brings darkness into their world, right? But she's a lesson. I mean, it's like it's almost like I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, it's, when they say if you believe in one thing, you have to believe in everything. And if you believe nothing exists, you have to believe everything exists, right? It's the Schrodinger's cat theory as well. I think I'm saying his name correctly. But there's just all of these things that are happening. And as the dimensions, as I was starting to see through certain things, I said to my friend, I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if instead of us seeing like, oh no, I feel this too, or no, I feel that, like, what if it's because we're both seeing a different dimension, a different time where we exist in a place together, right? We've been talking about this a lot, and why I haven't been doing so many readings, or when people are like, I can give you the time frame, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever, man, like you do you. But I just know for myself personally, it doesn't feel correct anymore to give timelines. I can only say what I feel at that moment, but people have free will, and so much is changing rapidly that it's really, I feel like it's different. I remember back in the day where I would get a reading and like they'd be like spot fucking on, like to the day, but I feel like now I just feel like we're in a different place. So with that being said, let's start with the spider since no one wanted to. That's okay. Ooh, no, I looked. It was 11:09, then 10, then 11. So whatever those numbers mean for you, but angels. Okay, so number 43, spider weaving. 43 is also the number 7, if that means anything to you. So spider weaving webs of delight, weave me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. So interesting that I said welcome though, right? Like, because it's like I saw it clear as day. I didn't see weave. I saw welcome me a peaceful world. So it's time for you to ask for what you need and what you want from spirit, and really say it with vigor and belief that you deserve it. I feel like they want you to see their moving stuff out of the way, right? They want you to see that you deserve it, that you are this light. Oh, look at that. That you are this light, that you are this bright light. There we go. Do you see how it's going up into the loft there? That you are this bright light, that you're magical and you're special. We all are. We've just been programmed to believe that we're not special, but we are so special. And I love getting dressed up and all that stuff. I do, but at the same time, I'm cool with like bringing the message to you guys the way that it's presented to me that day. And there was a part of me that's like, no, I don't. I'm like, I don't feel like I look pretty today, or I don't feel, blah blah blah. And I'm realizing how much I really have to get over that, because it's such a silly. It's about the message. It's not about the package that it comes in. And I feel like that's also a metaphor for a lot of things that we're going through. Welcome. So feel free to chat if you'd like to speak. If not, just enjoy. It's funny, people come on and it's like when I invite them, and it's like, nope. But that's okay. That's totally okay. That's totally okay. And also it could just float into the orbit and they're like, oh, what's that? Or who's that? Or what are they doing? Because sometimes people subscribe to you. And then sometimes when I do these kind of things, it's interesting. I'll either get more subscribers or a lot of people unsubscribe because I think they like my shorts or something. So they subscribe. But then like this comes into their orbit and they're like, oh, I'm not ready for that yet. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, Baba. Or they're ready, but they're like, don't want to be seen yet, which is totally fine. People may never want to be seen. So Spirit is saying it's time to welcome the peaceful world into your life, but only you can do that. Only you can say, okay, this is the peaceful world that I want. This is the peaceful world that I deserve. It's your show. You can decide how you want something to be, it's totally up to you. So if it says, welcome me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. So what is it creatively that you have been sitting on that needs to get out there into the world? The spider weaving. Each one of these spirit animals has a key word. And it says, spider wove the web that brought humans the first picture of the alphabet. The letters were part of the angles of her web. The deer asked Spider what she was weaving and why all the lines looked like symbols. Spider replied, why, dear, it is time for Earth's children to learn to make records of their progress in their Earth walk. Deer answered Spider, but they already have pictures that show through symbols the stories of their experiences. Ah, yes, Spider said, But Earth's children are growing more complex, and their future generations will need to know more. The ones to come won't remember how to read the petroglyphs. Interesting that Isis, a lot of the old Egyptian and old knowledge, Atlantis, things like that have been coming into my world, into my orbit. Oh, I just got the chills. And I really highly suggest that you research more of the Egyptian culture, but definitely if you're looking for a deity to work with right now, please work with Isis for real. Like I feel like she is literally the goddess of love, fertility, healing, creativity. Like that's she's basically the spider. Maybe that's why the spider. That's why Spirit asked us to go to 43 today to the spider. So it could be that maybe you need more divine feminine in your life. Also, there's labradorite on the ends of this. So it could be that you need some protection right now. So make sure that you are, protecting and smudging your space, taking good care of yourself. Okay, so it says, so it was that spider wove the first primordial alphabet, as she had woven the dream of the world that had become manifest. Spider's dream of the physical world had come to fruition millions of years before. Spider's body is made like the number 8, just like 2024, right? 2024 is the number 8. It's about infinity, infinite possibilities. Like this is the year that it's like, go big or go home. Put your creativity out there. Even if before you're like, oh, I blah, 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 this or that, it's like before is before. That's gone. It's over. It's in the past. All we have is this moment and anything in front of us if we're so blessed to have another breath. So dwelling on the past, dwelling on the future, and not living in the moment is seriously what is hindering all of our progress. Every single one of us are going through something different right now on the planet. Every single one of us, every single one of us. The animals feel the vibrations, the trees feel the vibrations. They know. Why do you think things shifted and changed when COVID hit? Because it was like it hit the whole fucking planet. It didn't just hit one country, one state, it was there to shake shit up. It was there for the animals to take their power back, and they're like, whoa, it's been like really quiet. Like nobody's going out. And they're like, I mean, I know for us, there were days during COVID where I would just go outside and I would lay outside in the sun, like on my beautiful lanai outside. And I'm not kidding you. Like I felt like Snow White. Like I felt like the birds were singing louder, differently, their songs. I mean, there were animals everywhere. All the animals were thriving. It was a really cool experience. So I just think everything that's happening right now, it was the real reset. And now it's kind of like you saw what it could be, what do you want it to be? It's just very interesting. So moving forward. So spider's body is made like the number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist and 8 legs. And even the body is like a figure 8, right? So 8 legs, it's like they are the symbol of infinity. That's why people are terrified of spiders, because they're mysterious and they weave these beautiful webs and they're so magical. I mean, honestly, like whenever I accidentally kill a spider, I'm just like, thank you, spirit. I'm so sorry. Please go to the goddess. Like I speak to the spider, whatever comes out, and because I know that they have a divine purpose. Everything has a divine purpose. You have a divine purpose. I have a divine purpose. Everything has a divine purpose. Every little thing. Even this shirt came into my orbit. One of my witchy sisters, she was blessed with, she had a resale shop, and long story short, she's like, I have so much stuff, and she's like, this came into my orbit and I feel like you're supposed to have it. And it was a bag of, well, hello, Raven. Oh, the Raven's flying by right now. Hello, Raven. Oh, if they come back this way, I'll turn the camera. Anyway, so look up Raven Spirit Medicine as well. Ravens are about magic. So the whole bag was filled with like the original hippie clothes, like, and they even found out that it was like had been in the barn since like the 70s or something. And I was like, holy shit. And this was one of the shirts that was in there, and it says on there herbalist. And I've been going more into like my goddess and my divine feminine and working with that energy. So the spider she's beautiful, and even the male spiders are beautiful, but there is definitely something more ravishingly beautiful about the divine feminine of the spider. So let's carry on. Okay. So, oh, this little fairy bug just came in. Hello. Hello, little fairy. Oh my gosh, so cute. So the fairies say hello. And welcome. Welcome, welcome. And feel free to pick a number between 1 and 52 and put it below if you would like a reading. Okay. So here we go. So spider is the symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. Love it. Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world. This is what I was talking about earlier about the dimensions and shit. I'm telling you, and never see beyond the horizon into the other dimensions. And that's what I feel like it is. I feel like when I was talking about Dorothy and the tornado, it's like these outwardly experiences I feel like that we've created, and now it's like all of the dimensions, it's like everything is like going back into one. And something somewhere, somehow, I believe, got kind of pulled off track. And I think part of it is that someone discovered time travel, or maybe time travel always existed. I mean, I astral travel, but I'm saying like we're in this kind of reality. Hi, Anna! Oh my gosh! Yay! I know it was like last minute. Hello, Anna. So Anna's here. I always say she's the president of the Magical Medium, but she's just like amazing. And hello, Anna. And yeah, this was literally last minute, dude. Like literally, like I was like cleaning, doing my own thing, and like spirit just called me to do this. So right now we're speaking with the spider. If you would like a reading, you don't even have to say the question or anything, but we're reading from the medicine book. So when we finish from the spider, if you have time and the energy, Anna, just whatever comes into your head first, a number between 1 and 52, whatever number comes up, feel free to put it below, and then and maybe it's a message for you, maybe it's a message for all of us. Right now we're working with number 43, the spider, and we're almost done with it. But yeah, so we were talking about dimensions and just how they're all kind of bleeding together right now. Also, Anna, look at how spooky it is outside right now. Hold on. I don't know if I'd say spooky so much as just like it's early. It's like in the morning here. So hello, welcome. Yeah, so feel free to pick a number between 1 and 52. And that is your message. If you don't feel like it or you're not pulled to, it's okay too. There's literally no pressure. Like it's just kind of like I just felt I felt like I was gonna do readings of some kind, but I didn't know, and none of the decks called to me, but the book did. So anyway, I'm gonna have some water. Have some water. I took Bubba's space. She wasn't very happy about it. And then I accidentally sat on her tail. So let's get back to the spider, and then I'll check up here. Ooh, okay. Ooh, 11. Anna chose 11. I think I know which one that is, but we'll finish the spider and then we'll go to 11. This is so fun. Okay. So spider's body is made like the number 8, consisting of 2 lobe-like parts connected at the waist and 8 legs. Spider is the symbol for the infinite possibilities of creation. Her 8 legs represent the 4 winds of change and the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. Spider weaves the webs of fate for those who get caught in her web and become her dinner. This is similar to humans who get caught in the web of illusion in the physical world and never see beyond the horizon into the dimensions. The web of fate also represents a wheel of life, which does not include any alternatives or solutions. It is typically human to get caught in the polarity of good or bad fortune without realizing that we can change it at any time. If we are not decisive enough about changing our lots in life, we may end up being consumed by our fears and limitations. Also, by the way, I just want to say that the spider's on page 209, and 9 and 2 is 11. Interesting, Anna. You didn't even know that. Woohoo, that's so fun. Yeah, so like our fears and limitations for real, like, I mean, there are so many things have been happening with our experience, our living experience, and it's been changing so rapidly and in such a divine way. that I cannot help but see the beauty as it's unfolding like a flower. And what I was saying earlier, Anna, is that there's this energy that's happening right now. I feel like the dragons are ushering in, and it's almost as if every fear, every false illusion, everything that I had before is like just drifting away. Is like, it's almost as if they're like, and it makes sense because we are in Aquarius season, and Aquarius is air. You know, they are the water bringers, but it is an air sign. And I feel like it's almost like they're like clearing the energy field and clearing the smoke of the illusion of the bullshit on the planet. And it's like, I feel like the dragons are like, yeah, we're here, like, you know, they're like, we're on our way. I mean, they're just, I mean, I have a dragon tattoo on my arm, you guys know, and I mean, I have had an affinity. I'm almost positive I was a dragon, or I am definitely deeply connected to the dragon clans, for some, I don't know. And then Jesus has been coming through so much lately, so I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a very pivotal, very phenomenal year. Yeah, Anna, clearing the path. They're like clearing the path. And I do feel like as much as every animal on the Chinese zodiac is obviously important. Every living thing is important. Everything that we know of is important, right? But there is something to be said about the dragon energy, and the dragons, they don't have ego. And Anna, you know, Anna's been working very deeply with the dragons for a long time as well. We're both Sagittarius, like we're both fire. And I guess because we think of fire, dragon, you know, whatever. But also the dragons are more like they're more about the truth, and they come in and they're strong. And so I feel like this year is going to be a year where a lot of truths are going to come out and things are going to be said. And I think it's so interesting that it's an election year, for the United States, that this is all coming together. I mean, I have my own very interesting connections to this year and the numbers. And I'm like, what? Like, where I'm like, holy shit, we're just very fucking interesting. So I believe personally that the dragons are going to there's going to be no hiding. So yes, and Anna feels them as well. So, and I think a lot of people may not even recognize it. But the cool thing about this dragon, it's also like, because, you know, they could be a water dragon, they can be an earth dragon, you know, but this is, you know, this is the green dragon, and it's the wood earth dragon. So I don't know if they consider that the same, but I'm saying it like that, right? Because wood is earth. So grounding energy, and green, heart chakra, abundance. Green is a beautiful color for so many different things. So I think that there's going to be, sorry, you know, when you catch like something and you're just like, and I didn't brush my hair or do anything. I literally like threw this together. Hello, welcome. And if you want a free reading, please pick a number between 1 and 52 right now. And you can place it there before. You don't even have to say your name. You don't even have to say the question. It's just a message for you, and maybe it's just a message for all of us. Right now we're finishing the spider, and then we're going to go to number 11. But yeah, there's a significance that is happening right now, and why I believe Isis has been coming around a lot. So I've been really pushing everybody to really work with Isis right now. She's a really powerful deity, and she's the goddess of love. And here it says, the spider is the female energy of the creative force that weaves the beautiful designs of life, which is Isis as well. Her web has hundreds of intricate patterns which catch the morning dew. If Spider has dropped from her web into your cards today, she may be telling you to create. And that's what I feel like this episode is about, is like really like letting yourself go, not having any limitations. Yeah, Chinese New Year is very soon. It's February 10th, I believe. I didn't bring my calendar out, but I believe it's February 10th. Actually, just so you guys know, today is the last day of January, which is probably, and it's also 31, which is 13 backwards. Why didn't I put that together? Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Numerology, got to do it. 2024 is 8. Today's 13, 4. I knew it. January is 1, 13. Today's the 13 day. Whoa, it's the goddess. I mean, there are no fucking accidents. I mean, I literally was like doing my own thing, living in my own world, you know? And when I looked up, it was 2929. What? Which is also 1111. So, I mean, I'm like seriously not even like ready for this, but it was just like Spirit was like, get in there. Who cares? Like, we got to, get this message out today. And I'm really, really feeling that divine feminine energy, and that is what is making the way. And that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like this dragon energy that's coming through isn't like some like deep dark, black dragon that's like, let's go for the darkness, blah blah blah. No, I feel like this is more like the love dragon, like if Isis was a dragon, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if this was oh, you nearly said 13. Well, maybe we're meant to. If nobody else, feel free. If you're just getting on here, we're doing free readings. So from number 1 to 52, if you want to, whatever number comes up first, or whatever feels good to you, we're finishing up with the spider, and then we're moving to number 11. And if no one else puts a number out there, then I guess we'll go to 13. But yeah, it was. There's just this energy that I can feel, and like I remember when I wanted to get a dragon tattoo, and there was no other place that felt right was but my arm. Like it felt no other place but my arm. It felt right. And my mom was like, "You're never gonna get a job," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, I don't care." I'm like, because I don't want a job where I cannot put something on my own body where I want to put it. It's really nobody's business, you know. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So I feel like this divine feminine energy that is here today. What? I love the unplanned, the unknown. That's what they're preparing us for, is the unplanned, the unknown. Like we don't know what's going to happen. And the more I'm leaning into that, and the more I'm trusting that and trusting spirit, the more fun it is. And I realize that they really do like have this plan for us, and things that we can't understand, and the bleeding of the dimensions. I feel like it's just like all of us, like it's like we're all coming back to like ourself, because we've had so much of, whenever you have a trauma or a tragedy, a piece of you kind of stays there in that energy, in that moment, in that place. Yes, going with the flow of life, Anna, exactly. 3143 when I looked up, which is kind of crazy because 31 is today and 13 backwards, and 43 is the number we're working on right now with the spider. But these are the connections that they want to show us. These are the things that they're trying to tell us, that these signs that they're giving us every day, all the time, always, saying like, just hang on, hang on, hang on. We've gotten very, very used to these, instant gratification, quick fixes, even with the readings, live readings, and all this, even things that I'm doing. That's why I've gotten very particular about time frames and things like that. Like, as you notice, I said the year, the Chinese year of the dragon, right? Starting February 10th, that year. It's like, that is what is happening. Oh, I hope I'm still going, because I just realized I went from 3 people to like nothing. So I'm up in the mountains, so I apologize if it cuts out. I'm really sorry. I think it's okay. But anyway, all of these things, it's about, even just now, this divine connection, connecting us together. I know that, Anna, lives in Europe, right? It's like, and I'm in the United States, but we have become friends like over time, and over, whatever, like through social media, through spirit, through this energy, 3301. And then it was like 3 seconds, like we're gone, and it went to 3304. So interesting. Okay. Welcome back. Yeah, I don't know if it glitched. I won't know until I look at it back, but I apologize. I live in the mountains, so it is what it is. Okay, I'm still there. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, good. Well, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, because I said it went from having 3 and then it was like 0. So I didn't know if people just stopped watching, which is fine. 3330. Okay, there's a lot going on. So I'm just going to keep going. Oh, they want me to talk about the 369. Are you guys seeing the 369 a lot? This has been coming up rampantly everywhere, but I've been seeing it too. So there's something with the number sequence of 369. It's very powerful. It's very amazing. And do not fear 666. It's actually a beautiful divine number. So there's nothing like, oh, the devil. Oh, when I looked up, it was 3355. So any of these numbers that come out to you or resonate with you, oh gosh, my hand, it was like something took control of it. Work with it, study it. Things are going to start moving more rapidly. They're trying to get us ready for the dragons. They're trying to get us ready for this energy for this year, and it's going to be the best. It's like hang on, you know what I mean? But and if you look at it as fun and just go with the flow of it, you're going to love it. If obstacles come and you're like, no, and you fight it, then it might not be the best year for you. But that's the whole point, is that they're like, don't fight it. There are things that have been happening in my life that, I mean, if this were a different version of myself, I would have absolutely positively been like doing things so differently. I mean, I can't even tell you. And I had to like check in with the soul sister today for her to even say like, when I looked, it was 34, 43, which is 34 and 43 to mirror each other. But there is something that's happening internally with everybody, and it's almost like everybody's on their own little clock, and I'm seeing like all these synchronicities and all these. Anyway, I can go on and on and on and on, but I'm going to finish the spider so that we can move on to number 11 and then 13. Okay, so look for new alternatives to your present impasse. Spider can also be warning you that you're coming too close to an entangling situation. Spider could be asking you to use a journal to write out and review your progress. If you do this, you will not forget how you are creating a new or different phase in your life. And they had me emphasize how, because it's like, again, maybe there's a different way that you want to express yourself. Maybe there's a different way that you want to utilize your creativity. I am starting to see certain things where I've been with my writing where I was like, oh my gosh. And I feel like I'm taking like 2 or 3 books and kind of like pulling them apart and putting them in different places. And I was like, I never even thought about that. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't want to move my phone but there is literally a stellar J right here. You know, I posted in my shorts recently. They're from the Blue Jay family. It's our version of the Blue Jays where I live in the Pacific Northwest, the stellar J. So also look up stellar J, spirit medicine, Blue Jay spirit medicine. The Raven came in. The Raven and the Blue Jay are both in the Corvid family. And then we were talking about COVID. Isn't it funny how COVID and Corvids, it was like only one letter off, but the corvids are the ravens, the crows, and the jays. Well, hello. Hi, Dad. My dad's here. Hi, Dad. They are the bringers of medicine and magic, which is why a lot of these birds or these numbers or these things over time have been bastardized. They've been made into dark or evil or sinister. Spiders have been made to be dark and evil and sinister. You know, the spiders only move fast if they're scared or they're running from something. And if they're running towards you, maybe it's good energy. Love those birds. I've been seeing crows, magpies, and so much lately. Oh, cool. Yay. Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, magpies are so cool, dude, by the way. Yeah. I mean, there's a special magic that's happening on the planet. And I've been helping all of these people around me. And I had this moment the other day where I was just like, okay, what is happening? So, yeah, just a lot. Anyway, so, okay. So Spider brings a message of a different kind when she sees you becoming a bit too involved in the weaving of your life. Meaning, like, if you're trying too hard to control it, instead of just letting your higher self and divinity like guide your path. You wrote, like, you and the divine wrote this story already. It's already done. It's already logged. It's already in a book. It's somewhere. Somebody somewhere is reading a book about your life. Somebody somewhere is watching a movie about your life, right? You know? Why? Why not? Why not? Why not? What are we doing? We're watching stories about other people's lives that are being played out by actors, and you know what I mean? But it's a fucking show, man. So you have no idea how many channels are in the universe and what people are watching and what they're learning. We are one. We all come from the same place. So we're starting to realize that. I feel like we're all starting to understand that. And that kind of like the Dorothy theory that I spoke of earlier is like, you know, the Wicked Witch is just another form of her. You know, Auntie M is just another form of her. So it's the same with this energy, you know, Spirit saying, there's so many different versions of you, but you keep trying to control it into one story. Like maybe when you were young, you said, I'm going to be a veterinarian. And now you're how old? And maybe you're working at a job that you don't like. And you're like, I always wanted to be a veterinarian. Why aren't you a veterinarian? Then go back to school, right? Like, then do it. Then do it. Like, there's nothing holding you back. Or it could be the reverse. Maybe you're somebody who are like, I'm going to be a veterinarian when I grow up, and you kept pushing it, and your dad was a veterinarian and your grandpa was a veterinarian, and they want you to take over the practice. And so you become a vet, but you really don't want to be a vet. Like, you get squeamish from blood, and you're like, man, I want to heal people, but like, I just want to like Reiki. What's that? You know what I mean? Whatever is drawing you, whatever is driving your passion, follow it. I have been having so many moments. When I looked, it was 3930, so another form of 369. I've just been having these, it's almost like the collapsible. Do you guys remember Zoom? It's an old show. See if you can find it on YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm gonna do something with it if I can find it on this channel. But I just remember the Zoom was, it was like in the 70s, and it was like a kids show, but like when the kids were running, it was when they first started doing like special effects with TV, where it was like 10 versions of the, you know, it's like do, 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 you know what I mean? But it's like the person, and they're like dragged out to like 10 frames. Hello, Stellar J. They really want our attention right now. It's kind of like that. It's like, I feel like we've, you know, soul retrieval is a very real thing. So if we have trauma, or even if we have a really good experience, you know, like I have moments of when I was in Europe where I had some of the most magical experiences of my life, and I like cried. I remember being in Paris, and I was like crying because I did not want to go back to the States. I was like, I felt like the whole, to me, when I came back to America, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, I'm American, but I'm telling you, I came back here and I felt like America was like a fucking the land of mini malls. I was so sad. And it's because I went back to Chicago. But then it was like I realized I had to seek out something more, something special. And the Pacific Northwest called my name. This Stellar J, oh my gosh, let me see. Oh, now, see, I was going to show you when they flew away. But they were like doing this little things with their head dancing. I'm telling you, it's my dad. When my dad passed, I saw a Stellar J and moths. So anyway, my dad, he's a fucking funny character. You guys would have loved my dad. Um, well, you can talk to him anytime you want. Billy J. How did I not make that connection before? Anywho, um, oh, so Anna said she had that feeling when she went to Florence, Italy. Well, and that makes sense because Anna's parents are from Italy, right? So she was feeling, I bet you were feeling your lineage. Same for me. It was like, I remember landing in the UK as a layover, but I was like desperate to get out of the terminal. And the only reason why I couldn't was they were doing construction. And long story short, I couldn't. I had like a 6 hour layover, and I was actually going to leave and go for like a few hours and go to downtown London and then like go back, and it never worked out. Yeah. Yay. Anna says, hello, Dad. And it was like such a bummer. It was such a bummer, but I felt such a connection. And I told my husband recently, we've been saying, I'm like, I feel like I either need to go to Europe next, like the UK, or I'm like, I need to go to Egypt, or both. Like, I feel like we need to like go do something, like go to Europe and for a while. And I'll finally get to hug you in person, Anna. And then go to Egypt, which is probably where we knew each other. And I feel that connection with you. So anyway, I can go on and on and on. And I had no clue this was going to happen, but there's just a lot of magic everywhere is basically what I'm saying. This is just my story. Your story is your story, 4244. We all have our own story. Everybody has their own story. So the spider is saying, if you're getting too involved in the weaving of your life plans, you're not noticing the opportunities that are on the outskirts of your web. That's what they're trying to say, right? Like, if you're just like laser focused and you're like, I'm going to be a veterinarian, that's what I'm going to do because that's what I'm supposed to do, programming, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get married and I'm going to have 2 kids, and it's like, if you do that, you can, that's great, that's your choice, that's your free will. However, if that's not where you're meant to be or what you're meant to do, I feel like this year is going to be that year where if it's really, really hard and it doesn't make sense and you're fighting against something, but you're like, I'm going to move there and I'm going to do it, but nothing is aligning, that's not where you're supposed to be. That's why we've been like this with the house, because like some days it's like, it's so bizarre how much this feels like my home. And I'm like, I can't imagine anyone living here. But then when people were like coming through and looking at the house, I was like, that's cool, because that just means there's somewhere else. And I wonder what that is. And so I just got excited. So I just chose to look at it a different way. So no matter what it is or what it becomes, I know that that's what it's meant to be. But I also know that this is the year that I truly have to let go. I have got to let go. So I offer you to do the same. Okay. So Anna, yeah, I've been drawn to planning a trip to Egypt. I feel so connected to there. Yes. Well, wouldn't that be cool? You know what we could do, Anna? Maybe we should plan something where like we, you know, we meet each other in Egypt and then like we fly back to Europe together or something, or we go to Europe first and then fly to Egypt. That's, I mean, That'd be really cool. But we'll figure it out. That's what I'm saying. This year is, I'm telling you, I have seen myself at, like, right now I'm 52 and I see myself having no concerns about money or whatever. I see myself helping people, deeply helping people around the world with money that is because of things that I create or things that happen, or as this work, doing this work, I do feel like I'm meant to go back out into the world and read for people in person. How funny. People ask me all the time, do you think the Long Island medium is real? And it got to the point where people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. I've never watched your stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Tyler Henry is the only one that I've ever watched his stuff, and I was like, oh, I love him. And it was nothing against Teresa. I just literally was never drawn to watch anything. I love her to death. I think she's adorable. I used to wear my hair that high, so I was just like, you go, girl. We're probably the same age. So, high hair, highest to God, or whatever she says. She's funny. So recently, Teresa Caputo has come into my orbit a lot. And I was like, okay, that is exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do, especially when I go out into the stores or whatever. So there could be something where Alder and I are meant to tour the world or tour the States, or that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it could be something where we're meant to get in, our little van and, go around and bring the medicine to people. I've done that many times. So, but that's not what I planned. To me, I'm like, this is my house. I'm going to work on this. This is our spiritual retreat we've been trying to build for, going on almost 9 years now. I'm like, this is it. We finally made it. But maybe not. And that's what I mean. And things change and people change. So don't get so rigid and connected and drawn to a plan. Instead, get more connected to yourself and your intuition. The best thing about Aquarius is Pisces is right after it, and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and they are the most in tune, like intuition, man. Pisces is around the corner, and I feel like this huge transition happening this year is going to be really powerful. So Spider gets your attention so that you notice that something you have woven has borne fruit. So congratulations. Spider caught you just in time before you missed the opportunity on the edge of your web or reality. The most important message from Spider is that you are an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan. Exactly. Because if you're looking at it through a very narrow scope, it's like blinders. If you're only looking here and you can only see there and what's in front of you, then you miss everything else on the outskirts. Quite some years ago, when I realized that I could see, hear, feel, taste, smell, energies, entities, experiences, once I started to understand what was really happening, I asked Spirit, the J is back. I asked Spirit if I told myself I no longer wanted to see things, because sometimes things come up on me so quickly, especially energies or entities that are lost in dimension. When we say the other side, whatever, but really they're lost in a dimension. They're lost in a frequency, or they're lost somewhere. And so those energies, you can call them ghosts, spirits, whatever you want to call them, those energies, those souls, they get trapped. Because I believe the soul actually moves on, but I think it's an energy that gets trapped that was connected to a soul. That just came through. So I don't know if that is supposed to mean something for somebody. I never thought of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. I'm channeling right now, which I didn't realize I was, but now I am. I welcomed them, so it's okay. It's all good. This divine force will come in sometimes, and it's so quick that it can throw me off my gate. And it's happened to me while I was driving, where I was like, whoa, and it's but in this, human thing, it's tangible, right? It's tangible because I'm making it tangible. So if I do that, it's in my mind, right? I crash, didn't want to do that. So I was like, no, stop doing that. I don't want them to come up on me. They can speak to me. They can, send me signs. They can, send me messages through books, whatever. But I was like, no more of that. Because I've had some too that were like, boo, like super cute little ladies that were like playing with me, like peekaboo. Like I realized when I was a kid, like, I mean, if you've ever seen that movie with Robert Downey Jr., where anyway, that is me. I swear to God, that was me when I was little. So I've always been this. And I started to realize, like, okay, I don't want to see them anymore. Well, I don't think I have a choice anymore, because I have been seeing things now, mostly since we moved onto this property, but since we came into this house, it is so strong. My connection to the shadow people has like really like grown in such a loving way. The shadow people aren't as ominous and scary as people think they are, actually. They actually have quite a sense of humor. And they've really helped me work through some stuff. I mean, they've shown me, they've jumped on me, they've snarled in my ear, they've said horrible, hateful, disgusting things. But all they've done is push of my fear to where I'm just like, where I'm like Glinda the Good Witch, where I'm like, go away before a house falls on you too. I'm like, come on, really? Like, are we really here? You still gonna? But they still do. They still do it. They still try and spook me. And but now I'll just be like, I'll just like be like, stop it. I'm like, that's not funny. There's this one that's been lingering around here. I saw it when we first came to this property, and it was like really dark demon, like in your face. Yes, Anna says she's becoming stronger, entering the crone years. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I saw something recently, Jodie Foster, Diane Keaton, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda. Like, there's so many like of our elder women that are really paving the way. Dolly Parton remaking, hearing Dolly Parton swear on a song is like the best fucking gift I was ever given. Because she's got sleeves. I just found that out. I always heard that, but I wondered if it was true. But apparently she confirmed it, and other people have said they've seen it. That's why she's always wearing long sleeves, because she literally has tattoos. And I'm sure she does swear, but she has this image and she has this, whatever. So she probably has one version of Dolly, and she probably has other versions that other people see of her. I think she's true blue real, but I'm just saying she's not. I think there's almost like a caricature of herself, but then there's like her when the wigs come off and the makeup goes off and all that kind of stuff. There's still her like underneath there, right? This powerful crone, this Isis energy. Animal signs closer to Mother Earth. Yes, I've been getting that too. There's just, we care more about it. That's why I'm saying the planet is changing and everything is changing. This whole thing I've been talking about it because it's a fucking phenomenon. TNT is like the Beatles right now. Travis and Taylor are like the Beatles right now. And it's a really cool thing, and it's showing, and like, no matter what happens. I just saw some footage where he's like, I love you. Like, it was just like, he just like said in front of people, and they were just being themselves. Like, they're just being themselves, if that's who they are. You know what I mean? Like, they're being themselves. And I thought that's really fucking cool, because I think, you have to keep your private life separate. I don't care if you're famous or you're not famous. It's like when you're at your job, you don't have to talk about your fucking private life. Your private life is your private life, right? That's your private life. If you want to share your private life with people, I'm sharing my private life with you guys, because this is what I do for a living. Like, this happened because of the work that I'm putting out into the world. This occurred, this came together. This was a manifestation that my husband and I were brought together for this to happen. There are so many things that are aligning right now. I mean, down to like, just even the people who came to look at the house, like, we had a connection with them, like our names, and just like really interesting things where I'm like, there are just no fucking accidents. And this is the year that I feel like everyone is going to see that, like, and they're going to witness it if you stop trying to control it and just allow it. So wrapping up, the spider says, the most important message from Spider is that you're an infinite being who will continue to weave the patterns of life and living throughout time. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan. So I know I read it, but I wanted to read it one more time because it's really profound. I'm going to put the contrary in the community section, and then you can look at that because there might be some medicine in there for you. We're going to move to number 11 for Anna. Okay, I don't remember. I want to say it's the elk. okay, before I go in there, because it's somewhere in here. I'm at 6, the snake. So I want to say 11 is the elk, but let's see. Number 11. Oh, it's the moose. Kind of close. Oh, look at Anna. This was in there, the magical medium. Also, you guys, I put out a new pick a reading. For those of you who haven't seen it on my other channel, The Magical Medium, there's a link below. I put out a new pick a reading, and I feel like more are coming, but there's just been a lot going on with, it's really hard to like keep my house a certain way because, I'm constantly cleaning it. People have been coming here. It's just last week was like super intense. January has been really intense just with all the changes with my living situation. But it's good, So at least for now, I know we're okay for at least another month or so. So, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable, and, you're most welcome, Anna. It is literally my pleasure to help everybody. That's what I'm here to do. But I also need to sort through my stuff. And so when I'm sorting through my stuff, I'm not bringing the medicine to you guys as much because I'm sorting through my own stuff. And sometimes I do, like recently I did the Tallulah talk, the cabin, and sent a little Reiki your way. But these kind of readings like this is more for our expansiveness and the awareness of, I'm just showing you my life. I'm sure you are having your own stuff. Please feel free to share. But we are all going through stuff. And I think having mediums like myself and fellow light workers out there, showing people like it's okay to be who you are. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Fear was created to keep us in line. Fear was created to, and the darkness that supports fear was created, right? Because people don't want to be harmed. They don't want to be hurt. They don't want their loved ones to be harmed or be hurt. And social media and just the internet in general has become a beautiful tool in a lot of ways to connect us the way we are here right now. Welcome for the new people that come in. I know that Anna, like I said earlier, Anna's in the UK. I'm in the United States, in the Pacific Northwest, so it's like, but the fact that we can connect like this is really important and vital. And, I do more, if you guys notice, I put out more shorts than I do actual content because right now we are in a world and in a society where the average person's attention span is about 11 to 15 seconds. That's very disturbing, but I believe that's true because when I can look and see if it's true, the tracking that they're doing on each of our channels, it's staggering to see. That's why I hashtag wait friend for a lot, because I'm just like, hey, like hang in there. It's worth that minute. You don't know what you may see. Something might make you chuckle. Something may give you some insight. It's like a lot of the things I do are channeled, even with Bubba, which is why Bubba started her own channel. Some people don't give a fuck about what I'm doing, and that's fine, but they love Bubba. So I let them have, they can go and follow her and watch her, and her links are on this channel too. And the same with the magical medium. I started to pull Lula's labyrinth apart and made the magical medium and Lula's life because everybody is on their own journey right now and everybody's at their own level of consciousness. So, it's like somebody just may want the readings, and it's nothing against me, but they don't care about what I'm doing or what I want or whatever. Whereas some of you, you're my family, right? You're my kin. So you want to know. Bubba is awesome and powerful. Yeah, Anna. Anna and Bubba have known each other before, for sure. I think she was your cat. That's what I think. I think she was your cat. Maybe she was in Anubis or something. But yeah, because I definitely feel queen energy from you, Anna. I would not be surprised, Anna, if you were like some Egyptian queen and I was like your first hand, or like, or whatever. Or maybe we both played the queen and we both played the mage, you know what I mean? Or the witch or whatever, for each other, because I have such a divine connection to you, like I do to like, any of my other close sisters, and we've never even met, but like I know you. So that's how I feel about all you guys. It's like I feel like if people subscribe and they connect, it's like there's a reason for it. So anyway, so let's get to yours, Anna. So if you had a specific question, Anna, you don't have to say anything, but I'm going to read this. So, and maybe you just chose it because it's for the group, because wait till you see what the keyword is. So most of you know. Good. Nice. Anna says she's feeling it. And feel free to comment if you're here, but if you don't want to, it's okay. Each of these have their own keyword, and then they have their own poem. And the keyword for number 11, the moose, is self-esteem. Most people who are brave enough to be themselves actually lack self-esteem. And that's only because we are so different. We're all supposed to be different. Every single one, every single one, every single one of us is supposed to be different. And Anna says hello to those who came on. Because I don't know what you guys can see or not see. I think you can see it, but if you're not reading the feed, anyway. But yeah, there's just this divine connection to, that's another thing that I think 2024 is like all about, is about letting your freak flag fly. I love that term because it is, we're all fucking freaks, man. We're all freaks. We all have, I mean, it's like there are certain things that we have been, programmed to done, accepted or not accepted. But again, it's just another part of the control programming that's been going on. So I feel right now in this moment that that's another thing with the dragon. The dragon is going to lead the way this year to show us that we can be strong and viable and have strong self-esteem and self-worth, but we do not have to be a braggart. We don't have to let our ego rule that, right? Because a dragon's just a fucking dragon, man. It's like, mice are cute and adorable. I love watching a little mouse eat like a piece of cheese or something. You're like, oh my God, you're so cute, But if you saw a mouse walking in and he's like, and you saw a dragon coming through, which one do you think is commanding the room? So I feel like Spirit is saying, this is what we need right now, the commanding of the room. And not doing it with ego, but just by being our pure self, our loving self, our kind self, being like, hey, what's up? Like being that real, when people say, oh, I love that celebrity, they seem so real. And that's true because they're just fucking people. But if they do have, like we spoke of Dolly earlier, I'm sure Dolly is that way all the time. You could tell that's who she really is, right? But then there's probably a certain part of her that is the persona of her as well, right? So only the close few are really going to know her true self, and that's okay because she's putting so much out into the world. She deserves that bit of anonymity that she wants, that whatever she feels. Now, I don't know. I don't know her. I'm not reading for her. I'm just using her as an example. I could be completely fucking wrong. You know what I mean? But I remember I saw something with Miley Cyrus, and she said in so many words that, like, the universe knew what they were doing when they made Dolly Parton her godmother, And so when we see Miley and we watched her grow up and we watched her go through all these different stages, and Why Used to Be Young, that song became such a huge hit because I think everybody felt that, I feel like anybody who has like gone over that peak of like, you feel like an adult. That can mean anything. It could be a 12-year-old. That could be an 80-year-old. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is. But like when you have that moment and you're like, I know I used to be crazy, or I used to blah, blah, it's because I used to be young, but I'm not that person anymore. There's a lot of times where we're trying to prove our self-esteem. We're trying to prove who we are. In fact, Anna, thank you. Anna just said it's time to find the dragon within, right? Find the dragon within. I threw in the time. She said, find the dragon within, but it is time to find the dragon within. And Anna gifted me a beautiful deck called the Dragon's Path. I don't know if it's the Dragon's Path or Dragon's Path. Is it the Dragon's Path? Anyway, look it up. Great deck. Inexpensive deck, has so many lessons. It's a beautiful, colorful deck. I highly recommend it. And it's from one Lightworker's downloading of the Dragon Clans, which is really cool because to me that made so much sense that the dragons would have like different groups, some that were the Earth Dragons, the Galactic Dragons, things like that. Like the dragons that were, because I feel like the dragons and the angels and the unicorns and the witches, I feel like they all come from the same realm. That's what I feel. I don't know if it's true. It could just be like a part of our minds or a part, you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. So finding the dragon within is really just about, finding your, working on your self-esteem. So since this is the last day of January, it's the day of the goddess. Anna, I don't know if you caught this, but I don't know when you came on here, but I realized it was the 31st. I didn't plan this, but I realized it was the 31st, which is 13 backwards. And then if you add up January 31st, 2024, it comes out to 13. So, and 1 in 3 is 4, and 4 is all about balance and stability. And I feel like that's what the dragons are trying to help us and trying to bring. That's why it's the wood dragon, the green dragon, the healing dragon, the generous dragon, the abundant dragon, the connected to the earth. Like, it's time for us to. You can still be strong and all those things, but it's your strength actually comes from being kind, and your strength comes from feeling love deep within. Like, that's where the strength comes from. And it's like, I've had to, unfortunately, many times throughout my life, I would be like, hey, what's up? Kind of person with people. And then they would push me, especially if it's a new friend or a new friend group or a new partner. And I'm like getting to know their friends or whatever. And I'm like, hey, and I'm happy go lucky and I'm whatever. But then it would get to a point where I would feel taken advantage of, or, anyway, basically, I would have to say to them in a firm voice, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, because that'll literally be your first mistake. I'm like, you don't know me. Like, you may think you know me. What's that thing right now? You don't know me, but I know you, that's been going around on social media. Yeah, it's like, that's the kind of interesting thing is like, we all have that inner strength. We need that inner strength. As I'm holding the Labradorite down here, we need that inner strength to protect ourselves. But it doesn't mean that we have to push. We have to push the love away. It's like, no. It's like you confront the shadow. You confront when somebody, because here's the thing: if somebody's coming at you, and you push back because your thing is to, sorry, I don't mean to do that with my energy, but you push back, right? Like, so you push back that energy and then it deflects off them, and then they're like, right. And you're just like mirrors and you're bouncing it back off of each other. But what I feel like they're wanting us to do this year is to find the strength of the grounding so that we can literally hold tight to the earth. And when somebody comes at us, remember that we love them. Even if we don't know them, even, that we love them first, and be like, whoa, I mean, obviously defend yourself, but I'm saying, like, if somebody comes at you energetically with words, whatever it is, whatever they come at you with, how you respond to them, that saying is very true. Because if someone's coming at you and you keep going back and back and back, and you're just like, it's actually just like, it's depleting you. It's, but if you just stood there in front of them and said, I disagree, or I love you, but I firmly, have to decline, or, whatever, and just keep saying no until your boundaries are set. So this could be the year that you really need to set your boundaries. Would you say, Anna? I had a dragon card I wanted to send you, and we are talking about dragons. Oh, that's so cool. Oh yeah, I know. I saw your emails. I'm going to look at them and respond to them today. And yes, and I will send you the address. I don't remember if you sent me anything at this address yet. So anyway, I'll send it to you. But thank you. Yay. Ooh, I'm excited. See, because Anna knows. And I know you, Anna, because you guys know I open her boxes. When Anna sends a box, it's like, not that I'm not putting any pressure on you. I'm just saying that, like, I know that you build, like, if you don't send something for a while, it's like, holy shit, it's like fucking Christmas, my birthday. It's like everything all wrapped up into one. But no pressure, but I'm just saying, like, in whatever, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, there is something to be said about connecting to this energy. But if you deflect this energy this year, if you push it back, remember that your higher self knows better than you. So let's just say you're going to move to Detroit because you're like, Detroit Rock City, like, I want to be like Eminem, and I want to, blah, blah, blah. That's fucking cool. But make sure that you research it first. Make sure you research the weather. Maybe you're from Arizona and you're like, it's like, do you know how cold it gets there? It's like literally on the border of Canada. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a cool thing too. Like, or maybe for some of you, maybe it's that you need to move somewhere that has a border. That's interesting. I don't know if this just came through, so I don't know who this is for. Don't worry, Anna, I'll send it to you, but thank you. I feel like for some of you, look at living in a border town. Like, for instance, I live in Washington State. If I wanted to live in Bellingham is right on the edge of Canada, and there's Vancouver, BC. Bellingham's a college town, you know what I mean? But it's like, if you have your passport, it's like you could just like go back and forth and like have fun, and like maybe you like one country but you don't want to live there, or you can't live there, but get close to it. Get close to like where you live. Does that make any sense? That's interesting. That's interesting. And I'm not saying you, Anna, but like for an example, like Anna lives in the UK, but like maybe she wanted to live in Scotland, but like she doesn't want to. Like maybe she'd move to like the tip of like, you know what I mean? So she can be, you know, or she's in England, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Very interesting. So that's a message for somebody. I feel like somebody really needed to hear that today. You know, it could be something like that. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so moose. The poem is Moose, help me to honor the gifts I can give and recognize my worthiness long as I live. Yes, because you are your most important asset. And investing in yourself is the way to go. No more investing in people who don't see your self-worth, because I feel like for some of you, they're literally tearing your self-esteem down. And Spirit's saying, no more. This is time for you to boost yourself up, channel those fucking dragons this year, and just like ride the wave of self-esteem. So work with the moose spirit animal. This is just from one person's view. So, you know, we worked with the spider. Look more into the spider. You know, some people believe that the spiders aren't even from this planet, that they literally are like aliens from another planet, but they're here to do good. And it sounds gross to people that they drink blood, but actually, I mean, think about it. They pretty much catch extra bugs, and they store their food, and they kind of stay in their corners. You know what I mean? And when they run, it takes a lot of energy for them. It's very depleting to them. They don't eat as often as you think they do. And they're definitely don't want to eat you. I'm not saying they don't bite or they're not big ones, you know what I mean? Of course, just like anything else, you probably have some that are dark and some, I mean, I used to live in the cutest house when I lived in Los Angeles, but my shed, my wood shed and my wood garage, because I lived in an old bungalow from like the 30s. It was so cute, but it was a lot of wood. So we had black widows everywhere. And I was like terrified every time my animals went outside in the backyard, because I was afraid they would, you know what I mean? Like, so I was always like, you know, trying to get rid of them, because because black widows are poisonous and they do bite. So, you know, I mean, I get it, but also it's lessons, right? Like as long as you stay out of their way, they'll stay out of your way. So what did you say, Anna? I'm working with boundaries with my partner too. I really have itchy feet lately. Feel like I want to move. Yes. You know what's interesting? That is so true. So if you have itchy palms and itchy feet, research it, because there's different belief systems in different places, but I've always heard that too, Anna. Another thing is if you keep hurting your feet, it means you're going in the wrong direction. And I can attest to that. That literally happened to me. Ooh, when I looked up, it was 11131. So 111 and then 31. What? Okay, so that's interesting. So moose is found in the north of the medicine wheel, as is the buffalo. North represents the place of wisdom. Self-esteem is the medicine of moose because it represents the power of recognizing that wisdom has been used in a situation and that recognition or a pat on the back is deserved. Moose is the largest member of the deer family and has great strength. The call of the male moose is an awesome thing to hear on a musky spring night. His in his maleness and his desire to share his seed with a moose cow are displays of his sense of self-esteem. The bellow of a male moose can be viewed as a positive force since it represents his willingness to tell the world about his feelings. Oh, I love this. And I think this is a beautiful thing too, that that we were just speaking of the 13 being the divine feminine energy, and the spider, the number 8, infinite possibilities, but that the spider was a representation of the divine feminine. And here we are with the moose on the other, you know, because what is 3 and 1 4? It's about stability. It's about laying a good foundation. And if your foundation of your life is not strong, nothing can build. That is why I have had so many things happen with my life where, you know, it's like this, I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And there were times where people looked down on my relationship. And now I find people are saying, wow, I look at your relationship for how much you and Alder have changed and grown, and you know what I mean? So when it's meant to go through those changes and evolution, it will. Sometimes you just need a break from something or someone just to get your feet planted somewhere that feels good. And would you say get a lot of moose? Oh, you have a lot of moose in Scotland. I didn't know that. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe you need a road trip. Another solo road trip is in your future, I believe. But and isn't that interesting? Like, and is it okay if I share? You just say yes or no. Is it okay if I share with them the place that you wanted to move? Oh, thank you for supporting Alder and I. but let me know if it's okay if I talk about it, because I feel it, because I have something I want to talk about that, but if you don't want me to say it in front of everybody, I won't. So I'll leave a pin until I see something. So interesting. So the tell the world trait contains a joyfulness which only comes with a sense of accomplishment. There's no greater joy than a job well done. This trait is therefore not a seeking of approval, but rather an enjoyment of sharing because of the spontaneous explosion of joy that comes from the deepest part of one's being. The wisdom woven throughout the scenario is that creation constantly brings forth new ideas creation. And did we not just, thank you, Anna says yes, so we'll get to that. Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate that. That makes a difference, because what helps other people to see that they're not alone. So, but isn't that interesting that we're speaking of creation again? Now, Spirit called me to call on number 43 in the spider, and that was about creation. And then Spirit spoke through Anna, another powerful seer and seeker, spirit seeker for 11. And now we're talking about creation again. And for some of you, it could be a life creation. It could be that for some of you, like you wanting a child, or you've been thinking about, creating a child, or it could just be a base of creating something in general, a new book, a new, piece of art, whatever it is to you, but something that feels creative to you. It could be building a wagon. I literally just saw somebody building a wagon. Maybe you've always wanted to build one. That's cool. I just got the chills. Build it. Build it and they will come. I don't know why, but I feel like that was for somebody. So what I wanted to share before I go further in the moose is that Anna has had a really strong pull to Glastonbury, and then she went to visit. And then when she went there, she felt a connection and speak your truth, Anna. I'm paraphrasing for you, just my experience of you sharing your story with me. But they had such a strong connection, and I felt that they belonged there too. I was like, I feel that for you, like really, really strong. But timing is everything, so it's like whatever is meant to be will be. And sometimes it could be a moment in that time that was like the place where she was supposed to be, but maybe she doesn't feel that anymore. I don't know, Anna, you speak if you want to speak, that's totally up to you. But that's why we've been having this with the house. It's like, do we love it? Yes. Is it magical? Yes. I mean, here, it's like, it may be a gloomy day, but it's still pretty damn beautiful. And when you look out there far in the distance, I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in, but that's Canada. That's Canada across the way. It's like, and as you can see, on a really beautiful, clear day, this place is magical. But is it easy to live here? No fucking way. No fucking way. Living off grid is not easy. If you're thinking about living off grid, I highly recommend that you try it. But I also want you to get really serious with yourself about, can you live in, cold temperatures? When it's a day like this, can you go wash your hands with cold water? Because if you want hot water, you got to heat it up. And if you want to heat it up, you got to use propane, because there is no electricity. There's no way, if you want warmth, you got to build a fire. You know what I mean? Like, you got to build a fire or you got to use a propane heater. There's just all these things. It's like, can things be done? Absolutely. I have so many dreams and fantasies for this loft. There are so many dreams and fantasies I have for this house and this property, but I'm a fucking artist. So I'm going to create no matter where I go. And having other people come and look at this made me realize, like, I love living here, but I've traveled so much. I've moved so much. I've been to so many different countries at this point. I don't even know. I think I've been to, I don't know how many, but anyway, but I've been to 35 of our 50 states. And I've really traveled because I felt the need to do that. I felt, off grid is hard. Thank you, Anna. It is, and it was funny the other day, I asked Alder, what do you want to do? Because I'm like, are we meant to change our trajectory? Are we meant to stay here? Like, we've really been listening to spirit. So we're just kind of sitting back and letting it all happen. And then, when our landlord gave us like their exit strategy, we were like, okay, cool. And then like, he was over here yesterday and we were talking, and I'm just feeling this lightness and the energy lifting. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not feeling this stress the way I did before. I'm not feeling, and so I just feel like the expansiveness is coming back. So, I put these videos out, I do these readings, whatever. There might be somebody who comes in and is like, hey, I'm a millionaire and I'd love to invest in your spiritual retreat. I love what you're doing. That's really special. You know what I mean? And they're like, done. How much is the house? Done. Here you go. Put me in. Those people exist. Taylor Swift's a billionaire for a fucking reason, because she's a good human being and she's going to put that money to good use, right? She's showing other artists, re-record it your fucking self. You have the money, don't give your money to these people anymore. Don't be, molested and raped. Don't allow these people to take your, the shit has shifted. Before it was like there were only men were powerful and had money, and if women had money, they still had to have a man to control their own fucking money. It was their dowry or their inheritance, but they still had to have it was like the old women who like ruled their lives, whatever. But also back in history, in Egyptian times, right? Like, and in a lot of other countries and different times and dimensions or whatever you want to look at, women were also in, deities and in control, of things, or revered or whatever. It's like since the dawn of time, humans have needed something to believe in. Give me something to believe in, right? Like they needed something to believe in. So these deities, created, these gods, like they created this system for a reason. They created it so, we would have this type of something to align to so that we can feel that we're important or feel like, the fact that we look at our lives and don't see slavery is the scariest part of it all. The fact that people think that they are under this illusion, under the guise that they have freedom, is very, very interesting. Because if that's the case, it's like, then this wouldn't be a big deal, right? We wouldn't have to get a loan to buy it. We would, you know what I mean? It would just be like, they'd be like, here, do your work and this is what you're supposed to do and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, that's just not the world we live in. So the wisdom woven throughout this scenario is that creation constantly brings forth new ideas and further creation. Moose is telling us that joy should be shouted with pride. The wisdom in doing this shouting is that the joy is catching. In a sense, the bellowing is a way for all of us to lighten up and give ourselves or each other a well done, right? Like to support each other and love each other and look after each other. This isn't a competition. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a dog eat dog world. You want to be better than this person. It's like, no, just you do you and I'll do me and you do you and you do you, and you know what I mean? And like, and when everybody's doing their own thing, that's when it's the most successful. That's when it's the most awesome. When everyone's just being themselves and everything else is going to fall together, and then the other stuff is going to fall away because nobody wants to be controlled. And people are opening their eyes and their ears and their energy. They're feeling, they're sensing, they're knowing the bullshit now. It's like, there's no more, like, you can't get past it. And these women and men who have been coming forth, and making people accountable for rape and torture and slavery. It's like, we're holding people accountable. Recently, I don't know if you guys saw, I put a shorts, and it was Tina Fey and Amy Poehler at some award show. And George Clooney was being honored for his, body of work in the acting world, right? And the entertainment world. And that's creating, it's an artistry, of course. But it was really funny the way that they put it forward, is because they were like, tonight, George Clooney's being honored for his body of work, blah, blah, blah. And next to him is his beautiful wife, Amal, who is, and they like have this whole list of things that she's done as a lawyer and as an activist and saving lives and saving, people and all this stuff and helping, people through war times and all this stuff. And she's like, but we're going to give him a statue for his movies. She was just like perspective. You know what I mean? Like, is his work any less important? No, he's changing lives too. But she's just saying, like, here she is, like, on the front lines, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, even that's why he fell in love with her, right? Because she wasn't just, this or that. Like, she was this phenomenal human being that was fighting for freedom and justice and peace. And he was like, I love that. Like, I want to be with you. I want to have a family with you. Like, I want my kids to have you as a mom, There's something special about that. And so we're kind of just bringing the balance back in. And I love that you chose this, Anna. It's so perfect. So moose medicine people have the ability to know when to use the gentleness of deer and when to activate the stampede of buffalo. They understand the balance between giving orders to get things done and having a willingness to do these things themselves. The wisdom of moose medicine is akin to the grandfather warrior who has long since put away his war paint and is now advising the young bucks to cool their blood. Moose medicine is often found in elders who have walked the good red road and have seen many things in their earth walk. So research the good red road in Native American teaching. I have a personal story with that, and it's really powerful. And the more you work with Native American spirit medicine, the more you'll understand what the good red road means. And it's basically, I mean, I would never just trivialize it by saying one thing, but I feel like what came into my orbit right now is like walking the old way, meaning like, you can have the pride, right? You can, but then it's also about having the gentleness. And deers are representative of unconditional love. That is their energy, their message from that spirit animal. So moving through this, it's going to be using unconditional love, through your situation, Anna, and then also just like for all of us this year, using the force and the power and the self-esteem of the dragon, but also, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Like know when to walk away and know when to run. But you shouldn't have to run, just walk away, And recently in one of my teachings, I said, I meant to say fight or flight, but I said fight and flight. And I feel like that has been more of my thing, is that I fight and then I leave. Or I finally let things go so long and then I stand up for myself and then I fucking leave. Because I'm not a doormat and I can only give so much. And you can love somebody unconditionally, but you do not have to be their doormat. Also, you guys know I love to like promote and push something that I'm really into at the time. So Alder and I just started season 3 of Heartland. We are like infatuated with this show. We've been watching a few episodes a night. The other day he took a full day off, which he hasn't done in a while. I didn't make him, but I said, please give yourself at least one day this week. And he did. I was really proud of him. Really good self-care. And we just had such a fun day and really got caught up in the show. And it's just so good. It's really pure. And it's about this horse farm in Canada. And it's really cute. And they had like 17 seasons. I thought 15, but I think there's 17 seasons. So it's like we don't even want to watch anything else right now. We're like really into that and the horses and the healing and how all these people are healing through these horses. And it's just a really good show. So if you're looking for a good show to watch or something with a good heartfelt, that's why it's called Heartland. That's the name of the ranch. It's perfect. And the mom was a healer. And the daughter is a healer as well. So anyway, moose medicine is often found in elders who have walked the good red road and have seen many things in their earth walk. Their joy lies in being the teachers of the children and in being the first ones to give encouragement. This is not to say that moose medicine people do not use to warn as well as to give praise, because they do. Moose medicine people know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. That's so interesting. One of the characters in the show that I really love is the grandpa. And the first few episodes, he's like, is that Sam Elliott? I'm like, no, but he totally reminds me of Sam Elliott. But he's just so good. All the characters are great. They all have a purpose. But the little girl next door, Mallory, is hilarious. She's like the comic relief. She's like so perfect. And I thought the other day, I said to him, I go, I'm such a nerd. I'm like, but you realize that this show has had 15 seasons, which means that we're going to watch these guys grow up. And it's kind of fun and nice to see. I know it's just a story, but they're based on books. So anyway, what did you say, Anna? You said you do that a lot. You do what a lot? I'll keep going. But that's interesting. That's so interesting, because that's like the grandpa's like that. He's a tough cookie in the show, but he's also really good at giving praise. The elders are honored in tribal law for their gifts of wisdom, for their teaching abilities, and for the calmness they impart in counsel. If you are wise beyond your years and have the gift of moose medicine, use this gift to encourage others to learn and grow. There are many facets to the wisdom of moose medicine. And isn't it interesting, Anna, that you chose this? And I've been telling you forever that this is like, I feel like this is your path as well, is to bring the medicine to people. And to, like I said, even if you were working in a shop and like you saw something for somebody and told them, one little thing, the fight and flight you do, like, yeah. Well, I think a lot of seers do. I think a lot of light workers, sensitives, empaths, like whatever label, I don't want to put labels on people, but we all have a lot of different things in us, but and that we're dealing with inwardly and outwardly. But I think the fight and flight is a very um, it's a very triggered response in people who were told at a very young age that they were limited. And so I think it's like, and they didn't feel safe. You know, I didn't feel safe in my friend group a lot. In certain friends I felt safe, and other friends I didn't feel safe. And I had friends, I had frenemies, I had you know, and I too like became that. Like I would hang around with certain people. And I remember one of the worst things that ever happened to me in my teenage years was there was a friend that had been my friend for a long time, and I turned my back on some of my other friends for this new friend because I felt like we had a connection. And she was all my friends were witchy and very gifted, but this one had something different that I was really drawn to, and I didn't understand why. But long story short, they had their own group of friends as well, and so I knew some of their friends, but we weren't like super good friends. And we had a few mutual friends, but basically when we'd all get together, it was cool. But there was this one person in the group that was very intimidated by me. And I'm not saying this with ego, I'm telling you like with soul knowledge and just the way she treated me and how what I do now for a living, like that's what was happening. And I felt that, but like I felt like the nicer I was to her, the more she was like, "Don't take pity on me, bitch." Like, you know what I mean? Like it just made it worse. So it was like I never knew. And I've dealt with a few people like that throughout my life where I don't know which way to go. I've lost friends because of their close friends that were like that were super overprotective of me being friends with them. And I was like, okay, you know, I people were like, "You're my best friend," and I'm like, "I'm everybody's friend. Like I'm your best friend, I'm her best friend, you're my best friend." It's like we're all friends, like whatever. But there's something that happens when you don't feel safe in your home, you don't feel safe in your friend groups, you don't feel safe at school, and then you grow up, you don't feel safe at work. So I think the fight or flight or the fight and flight, I think that is just a trigger response. So it's for all of us to figure out what it comes from, because it's a delayed reaction too, because I realized that recently something that we were going through, my family and the house, and just like how things were going down, I was going and approaching it from a different angle. And then once I like kind of turned around, stared at it, looked at it, and I was like, wait a second, you know what? I'm not going to let this control my destiny anymore. I'm not going to allow this to, I'm like, well, then so it is. And the more I allowed it to just unravel and unfold, and I'm still doing it now, the more I know that like, because all these good things have been happening to everybody involved, which means like, you know, and then some things have been happening that aren't so great, but I know they need to happen because that's going to change the trajectory of their lives, right? It's going to change the trajectory of their path. And that's what I do. I'm kind of like injected into people's world through this way or in person or whatever. And I just give them like, you know, it's like planting seeds, right? Like I'm just their higher self. I'm the messenger from their higher self that's helping them get the fuck out of their own way. And that's what I feel like a lot of us are here to do. So, it makes sense that, you know, also reading your chart. I just heard from spirit, you know, once I read my chart, so much shit made sense. There are literally free birth charts everywhere, everywhere all over the internet. So you can just put in like, you know, free birth, you know, I think Cafe Astrology does it, and there's a bunch of others. But anyway, um, when I saw that my chart was 70% masculine, it made so much sense. And I feel like I gave myself permission to be like, okay, because there were times where, like, you know, especially like when I would, you know, fool around sexually with men and women. When I would get with women, I feel like the reason why women would like to fool around with me was because I would just instantly go into my masculine where, you know, I just wanted to like take care of them and pleasure them or whatever. And then with men, it's like I want to like overpower them. But when they overpower me is when I actually get turned on, right? Like I'm giving you little secrets, but I don't care, because that's just that's what I've been working through, this dynamic. And then I started to realize like, okay, that makes sense. But if I were to fall in love with a woman, that would be beautiful to explore that more feminine side of myself, because I'm doing that now with my partner. So it's just very interesting, and I think that's when we start to realize like sex itself is like it's so not linear, you know. I mean that's a whole other episode, a whole other show. But yeah, there's definitely something that's happening right now where if you are not meant to walk the path with another person, whether it's your significant other, friend, family, work, whatever, I feel like this is the year it's going to make or break. And if you keep hitting walls, it's like, imagine how much you could do if you were actually in the flow and going in the current of it and not running away from it, but like saying, hey, this is where we are, this is what this is, and I love you, but I'm going to go find mine. I'm going to go find, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know I need to go somewhere else. I know I am needed somewhere else. I know that there is a purpose for me and it is not here. Or it's in that place, but not in that dwelling with that person. You know, maybe you're just meant to, you know, go and bring the medicine to, you know, X, Y, and Z or whatever. But for some of you, I definitely feel like you're meant to move. Absolutely. Like it's time. And you'll know when. You'll know when. So if you have chosen the Moose card, you have reason to feel good about something you have accomplished on your journey. This might be a habit you've broken, a completion of some sort, an insight on a goal, or a new sense of self that you have fought hard to earn. It is a time of feeling harmonious pride and of recognizing those who aided you in the process. One good exercise in Moose medicine is to write down things that you can love about yourself and your progress in life. Then apply these same things to friends, family, coworkers, and life. Don't forget to share the findings with others. They need the encouragement as much as you do. Exactly. You know, so the fight or flight, thank you for bringing that up, because I feel like that's what they're trying to show us. Like you can end something gracefully with gratitude. Oh, I just got the chills. And with lots of this. I don't know. It looks backwards to me, but maybe it won't look backwards to you guys. But lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, lots of love. And being mindful. Today I burned my finger again. I've been so good about stuff and I burned my finger again because I wasn't being mindful. Whenever I hurt myself, it's always my own doing and not being like, what the fuck? I mean, you know, I used to be like that. And now it's like when it happens, I'm like, oh, instead I just instantly go to my medicine that I've, you know, made, or medicines that I that are healthy, and I cure myself and I work on myself and I send it love and I baby it, you know, and it's already getting better. I can feel like by tomorrow it won't even be there. But I went to go do dishes, and I've been, because we're showing the house, I've been keeping up with the house like crazy, like every day, and making sure all the chores are done. And it's made me a little crazy actually. For like 10 days, I've been in this process and it's made me a little loopy. And so it's almost like I burned myself so that I didn't do the dishes, because I'm not going to, I boiled all this water to do the dishes, and then I didn't even get to do the dishes, you know, and I don't want to put hot water on my finger because it would hurt, right? You know, so it's like my higher self is like, I didn't want to burn you, but I told you to chill the fuck out because February is going to be a big month, and that's what I wanted to talk about too. So that is the moose, and I will do the contrary for the moose as well. And I will, and the picture, and since I'll be taking pictures, this one's only the end. There's like only one line for the contrary position. They don't call it the negative or the, you know, it's just the contrary. But the homework will be on from up here. So when they spoke about those questions, you know, so we'll do that. And let's go see what 13 is. I forgot. Ooh, 12 is porcupine, and that's dog-eared. So maybe some of you need to work with the porcupine spirit medicine, number 12. And their key word is innocence. So for some of you, it could be innocence lost. You know, recently I worked with a really beautiful soul, and their energy was so pure, and I could feel their innocence lost, and that they're working on regaining it. And that's so cool. Like, you know, we must face the things, the trauma, the things that hurt us, broke us, healed us, pushed us. You know, that's why I've learned to love the shadow people. And ever since I've learned to love the shadow people, I see them in a completely different way. And why I said they have a good sense of humor, because there's certain things that I don't want to say because there's something that I'm working on. So I don't want to say anything, but it was pretty fucking funny. And I just had this moment of clarity with them, and they were just standing in front of me. And then I realized, I'm like, no, they only have power if you give them power. They're going to take it. It's like the shadow people are like sponges. So if you give them light, then they will bounce back humor to you through the darkness. Like they'll give you like the lessons through humor. But if you feed into the fear of them, I remember I was watching one of those ghost hunter shows, and they had a witch, and on there. Well, she's a witch. She is a witch and a medium, but they had her on there. And I don't know if they were doing it for ratings or she looked like she was really feeling and sensing something. I definitely sensed something that she was sensing. There was definitely something there that was ominous, but she gave so much power to the shadow people that I was like, I think that's the fucking problem. So not the problem, but that's what I feel like their purpose is. Like, so if you give them fear, they will fucking grow into something that will scare you so deeply that you're just like, right? But it's in facing that deep fucking rooted fear is when you really heal. When you let go of it and you know that there's so many vast lives that you've had before this, that you will have after this, that you will, you know what I mean? And all the things that are going on around us right now. It's so in depth. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. But we have to look at it. We have to face it and we can't run away from it. And everybody is dealing with their own shadow in their own way, you know, but it's like, this may sound odd, but to me, it's like, I don't shadow people in Jesus. It's like, they're the same thing. They're just doing their job. They're just doing something different. They have different names and they have different energies that go around them, but they're doing the same fucking thing. They're just pushing us to be better versions of ourselves. So that's interesting that that the porcupine was in between there. Porcupine prickly. Oh, okay. Holy crap! Can you guys see this? Hold on. Can you see? There's a murder of they look like ravens. It looked like a murder of ravens. Let's see if they fly into the. Can you see them? There they are. They're far. Oh, anyway, that's powerful. Now that's some powerful shit right there. That's some powerful shit right there, right? And what are they? Like ravens are. We're supposed to think that they're like not good or whatever. It's like, yeah, but they have a purpose. Of course, 13. The coyote. Oh, the trickster. We were just talking about darkness and shadow and the demon. Okay, so the coyote is the trickster. Coyote, you devil, you tricked me once more. Must I sit and ponder what you did it for? There are thousands of myths and stories about Coyote, the great trickster. Many native cultures call the coyote the medicine dog. If you have pulled this card, you can be sure that some kind of medicine is on its way. It may or may not be to your liking. Whatever the medicine is, good or bad, you can be sure it will make you laugh, maybe even painfully. What I just have recently where I thought we didn't have water for all that time. Our landlord came over here. We were having this fear that we didn't want to disappoint them or upset them, or like they had done so much work on it. We felt so bad. And we're just like, oh, we'll just tell him, but he fixed it in 10 minutes. We were the ones that suffered. We were trying to, and he's like, stop trying to help me. He's like, I got it. Like, it's good. It was so funny, but it's like, cause we got in our own head. We were playing with, shit in the past and like, self-preservation and like, anyway, so you know what I mean? Trickster indeed. Where whatever the medicine is, good or bad, you can be sure it will make you laugh, maybe even painfully. I laughed when he fixed it. I was like, oh man, I literally was like, this is fucking hilarious. But I could have been like, are you kidding me? I could have been mad at my partner, because he said he tried everything he could or whatever. And I even said, I'm like, is electrical? Is it a fuse or something? He's like, no, I checked all that, but I wasn't mad because he wanted to tell him right away. And I was like, no, like it was like the beginning of Mercury retrograde and my birthday and then Christmas. And I was just like, we'll just tell him, like, we'll deal with it later. Cause I thought, because it had broken like 5 times in the year and a half we'd been here. So I just thought maybe it's just like cursed or there's something wrong with it, or it's just maybe it doesn't want to be a well. So we just like kept like pushing it aside and pushing it aside and pushing it aside. But we let fear dictate our lives and it was miserable. Like we had to go and get water and it was miserable, but we laughed because what are you going to do? We could have ripped each other apart. Instead, we just laughed and hugged and kissed and we're like, well, now we really know how to live off the grid on this house if we had to, So it's all good. It's all good. There's always a lesson. There's always a lesson if you accept it that way. So Coyote has many magical powers, but they do not always work in his favor. His own trickery fools him. He is the master trickster who tricks himself. No one is more astonished than Coyote at the outcome of his own tricks. He falls into his own trap, and yet he somehow manages to survive. He may be banged and bruised by the experience, but he soon goes on his way to even greater error, forgetting to learn from his mistakes. He may have lost the battle, but he has never been beaten. Coyote is sacred. In the folly of his acts, we see our own foolishness. As Coyote moves from one disaster to the next, he refines the art of self-sabotage to sheer perfection. No one can blindly do themselves or others in any no one can, I didn't put my glasses on. No one can blindly do themselves or others in with more grace and ease than this holy trickster. Coyote takes himself so seriously at times that he cannot see the obvious. For example, the steamroller that is about to run him over, right, in the cartoons. Wild E. Coyote, remember the cartoons? That is why when it hits him, he still cannot believe it. Was that really a steamroller? I better go back and look, he says, and he gets run over once more. Interesting, Anna, that you said 13, 11, and then 13, because if this was, but today's the day of the goddess. So I feel like this is for all of us, this message. But so I feel like, where does the trickster play in your life? What narrative are you feeding yourself about yourself or somebody else? And are you stuck in the loop of a narrative that is long outplayed its welcome? So I don't know if anywhere else does this. For all I know, America got it from Europe, but I think they did. The Groundhog Day, I think does come from the British. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But anyway, so in real time, it's the 31st, but in 2 days, it'll be February 2nd, which is Groundhog Day. And that determines whether we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter or 6 more weeks of spring, or 6 more weeks until spring, right? Or you know what I'm saying? So that's very interesting that the groundhog is coming into this, because I feel like that's what they're trying to show us, right? That it's like the groundhog, sticks its head out and it's like, or no, if he sees his shadow, right? So if he sees his shadow, that's supposed to be the foretelling from the sun god, from Ra, of how it's going to go. I don't know the story of the groundhog. I'm interested now. I feel like maybe I'll have to do something fun for that on Friday. But it's very interesting that they're having me bring this in. Welcome all of those who've joined. And if you want to have a free reading, I'm doing numbers between 1 and 52. We've already done 34, 11, and now we're on 13. 34 was the spider, 11 was the moose, and now we're on to the coyote. So if you don't even have to say the question or anything, maybe just the number popped in your head, and maybe you're meant to just bring the medicine to the rest of us. If not, I'm going to stop after this. But that's very, very interesting. So it says, contained within trickster medicine is the humor of the ages. The cosmic joke is not just on ourselves, but on everyone else. If they are following Coyote or have strong Coyote medicine, someone like this may be able to convince others that a skunk smells like roses, but the fact remains that it's still a skunk. You're welcome, Anna. It's my pleasure. It's also on page 89. Shut it. Okay, for my Swifties out there, tell me that is not crazy that the Coyote, the trickster, is number 13 and it's number 89. That's crazy town. Crazy town. Never even noticed that before. That is so fucking crazy. Interesting. I have so much to say about that and the TNT situation of Taylor and Travis. I've been saving Travis and Taylor, but at that moment, I felt like we should respect and put her first. Not that one should be one over the other. I'm just saying, for some reason, I've been saying Travis and Taylor instead of Taylor and Travis. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's 2 human beings having an experience together. And we all get to watch it on the stage of life. So interesting. So what in your life are you trying to make it smell like roses, but it's still a fucking skunk, right? It's like you could put lipstick on a pig and it could be cute as hell, but he's still pig. They're still pig. So you can make them as cute as you want to be, but they're still gonna shit, on in your house, and they're gonna, whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, whatever. But you get it, right? So there's something about that that's really interesting. So snooze time is over if you have pulled the Coyote medicine card. Watch out. Your glass house may crash to the ground at any moment. All your self mirrors may shatter. The divine trickster is dogging you, and you may trip. Coyote scratches under his arm. He does a crazy dance. He catches his tail on fire playing with matches. He jumps in the fish pond to save himself and nearly drowns. Coyote reduces... interesting, I said reduces. Coyote seduces a concrete statue. Coyote thinks he has found a bone, but it is a rattlesnake. Everyone watches the comedic scene. Coyote is you, me, booby traps, jet airplanes with toilets that don't work, blind dates, and all the humorous and whimsical things we encounter along life's way. Right? Get ready for more of the laughs, lots more. So maybe it's something that we, whatever is the next chapter, or maybe this year in general, that, like I said, it's going to be some really high highs this year and there's going to be some low lows. But if you laugh through it all and go, well, that's what, you know what I mean? That's what was meant to happen. That's what was meant to be. It's like, you know, you'll accept it more. And the vibration of laughter is acceptance and just being like giving into the universe, saying like, all right, man, whatever, like, let's do this. Like, you know, I'm telling you, it's helped me so tremendously. It's helping all of my relationships. All of my relationships have seemed to like kind of smooth themselves out, that were where there was a lot of stress before. Now I'm feeling like more humor and lightness, and so I encourage you to clean up the clutter, energetic clutter in your area as well. So go immediately beneath the surface of your experiences. Ask yourself what you are really doing and why. Is Coyote your medicine? Are you playing jokes on yourself? Are you trying to fool an adversary? Is someone tricking you? Do you want to give the office geek the phone number of the beautiful new secretary? I don't know. Book was written a long time ago. That's interesting. Or do you want to pull a prank on your best friend? When was the last time you did something just because it was crazy and fun? And I heard silly and made you laugh. On the other hand, you may not be conscious of your own pathway of foolishness. You may have conned yourself, your family, your friends, or even the public at large into believing that you know what you're doing. But listen, Coyote, you are balled up in your own machinations, MACHINATIONS. You have created a befuddling, bewildering, confounding trick. Pick up the juggler eyes from the ground and put them back in their sockets, right? Because they're comparing this all to this cartoon. See through the genius of your acts of self-sabotage. Find it amusing and laugh. The trickster laugh. I love that. Yes, be lighthearted. Thank you, Anna. Exactly. If you can't laugh at yourself and your crazy antics, then you've lost the game. Coyote always comes calling when things get too serious. The medicine is in laughter and joking so that new viewpoints may be assumed. If you have Coyote medicine, you may use it to make stuffy old fogies lighten up. Old fogies. I said fogies. There's one G. Old fogies, right? Maybe you're there like, that's what's been happening with my landlord and I. Like I said yesterday, he was over here. We just like laughed and had a good time. And I'm like, that's how it was when we first met. Like it was more of like a lighthearted, you know, but then things got real and things got serious. And now it's like we've gone back into the lighthearted and, you know, they have their purpose and their mission and we have ours. And we're all just like trying to help each other the best we can, you know, because we realize that life happens, shit happens. And you may plan something, but things change, people get sick, people die, things happen, you know, and you have to adjust your sails accordingly. If you stay rigid with those blinders on that we spoke of earlier, then you'll never move beyond and into what it is that you're actually meant to do. Your purpose this year, everybody's going to figure out their purpose. It definitely in the next 3 years, but this year I feel like a lot of light workers are going to figure out their purpose or find their person, or, you know, it's like you see those people who are in a relationship for like 5 years or whatever, and then they start dating and they're just like, I don't even want to date. And then 6 months later, they're like at a job and somebody comes in and they like find their person, you know, and that kind of shit happens all the time. But you can't find your people and they can't find you if you're tethered to a situation that no longer belongs to you. And you're also keeping those people away from their destiny and where they're meant to be. So on the other hand, you may not be conscious of your own pathway. Did we read that? Yes. Okay, if you have Coyote medicine, you may use it to make stuffy old fogies lighten up, to add cheer to a party, or to break a death grip conversation with ease, right? Have you ever like walked into a conversation that's like, or into a room or something where it's like really tense, and then like something will come to you and you'll say something really funny and everybody's like, oh dude, we needed that, thank you. You know what I mean? Like you're the comic relief. Like this show I was talking about, Heartland, the little girl Mallory. Nobody really wants to hear what Mallory has to say, but she fucking has pearls in her young person wisdom, you know, because she's just calling it like she sees it. She's a kid and she's like, why are you acting like you don't like him when you like him? Or why are you acting like blah, 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 you know? Just calling it out. So that it could be, you know, your higher self is calling you out. And also maybe you're meant to, diffuse a situation. One time I was in a store, a dollar store to be precise, and it was packed. It was during a holiday time, and these two old men, and I say old men because I am in my 50s and they were easily in their 70s. And the one, it was a busy store and it was a narrow aisle, and the one accidentally hit the other one. I was there, I saw it happen, it just happened to be in my viewpoint, and the other one turned around and he's like, did you just hit me? Did you just push me? Blah, blah. And I was like, whoa. And I like jumped in and I was like, sir, I was standing right here. No, he was just trying to get past you. I believe he said, excuse me, maybe you didn't hear him, and that dude, he went crazy. His person came and met him. They started like going at him. And then I did my best to diffuse the situation. And then I finally said, way, because that's not what happened. And you're literally like causing something that didn't happen. And the other man was just super, like, not that he needed my defense, but like I felt called to interfere. And I'm glad that I did, because I was like, I watched everything. You did nothing wrong. And I said, listen, I'm like, some people, I go, just send him love right now. I go, because that's a lot of anger. That's a lot of pain. Like, he thinks you're coming at him. You know what I mean? Like, and I saw them as an elder kind of take a minute and we're like, I really didn't. I go, I know, but you're internalizing it too. Like, don't just let it go. Like, it's just a holiday season. Some people like it, some people hate it. And it's just, and in the end, they were still angry with their daughter or whomever it was, and feeding the flame. And he had moved on and everything was fine. But I was like, wow, like, why was I fucking privy to this situation? You know what I mean? But, no matter what I did, I planted some seeds of something somewhere, and hope that they will find that like it wasn't personal and had nothing to, you know what I mean? So life is funny that way. You just never know. Look at the positive side of sabotaging nosy questions about your personal life. Have fun telling some gossiper that you just returned from Saint-Tropez in your new Learjet. Oh, saying like, if you have somebody in your orbit who's like, like the other guy who's like wanting whatever, they're like, and tell them something that's so outlandish that it's like, let them pass that around. Like, cause so anyway, so there we go. The only other one that I was called, but I heard like 2 hours was my max and I'm at 155, is I was really called to 45. So, 43 was the spider. Okay. 45. And then I feel like this is for us to all work on individually. Oh, yay. Yes. I love the blue heron. Yes. Oh my gosh. You guys know when we were home free, almost 2 years ago, we stayed, at this campground a lot, and the blue herons were everywhere. We have a blue heron feather that, like, we both were blessed with blue heron feathers, while we were there. Anyway, so work with the blue heron medicine on your own. Here it's 45, which is also the number 9. 9 means like you're almost there. You're almost at the end of this. Like, you're almost there. Like, hang in there, keep pushing forward. Use the medicine that was brought here today to help you do that in your own personal story, in your own personal life. But the blue heron is about self-reflection, and I'll read their poem and I'll leave you with that. Blue heron, thank you, sacred water bird, for sending reflections to me, the mirrors of the quest for life, the worlds that live inside of me. Show me how relationships work, with my path woven within the whole, the lessons of kinship with all life, reflecting my spirit's eternal goal. I mean, we were talking about finding our purpose this year, everybody really finding their purpose. So I'm going to leave it with that. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. This was a very last minute impromptu thing. So like I said, I didn't even brush my hair. Like, I was just like doing my own thing, and Spirit really wanted me to bring the medicine to you guys today. So I hope January was a good month for you of reflection. I hope you took some time to rest. February is going to be really busy. You're most welcome. I love you too. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for always like feeling and coming on like when you're meant to be. Like, seriously, power in numbers. It definitely helps. It makes a difference. Look at how much you helped guide this session today. So thank you, sister. Thank you. Many blessings upon you and your family. Oh, thank you. I know. I love this t-shirt too. It was like old school, Does it have a year on here? Oh, so it couldn't have been that old, because this says 1991. This says 1991. That's the year Alder graduated high school. I graduated in 90. So it must not have been in the barn since the 70s. I never even noticed that. That's crazy, but that's cool too. So very, very, very interesting work with Isis, and Yeah. So, are there any more messages or anything else you want me to say, Spirit? I'm hearing logging, journaling, keeping. For some of you, I'm hearing a food journal would be really good for you. I feel like you're trying to change your diet, or you're trying to, but I'm hearing like when you eat something, like eating things like maybe if you feel like a certain food is making you upset, they're like, then just eat that food and eat nothing else and see how your body responds to it. Sometimes it could be the marrying of foods. If you have this food with that food, it can actually really like explode in your stomach in like a really unhealthy way, like unhappy way, which is why you get, gas really bad, or, just bad bowel movements or whatever, or no bowel movements or whatever. I mean, not to get super personal, but I feel like this is for somebody. So, research that. A lot of cultures believe in that. A lot of cultures, Satguru talks about that a lot. The Indian culture is really big on that, and there's many cultures. The Greek cultures really believe in that as well. So and bless you, Anna, bless all of you. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously. And really take good care of yourselves and each other, okay? And until we see each other again, be mindful of the self-care and helping people when you can, but then also taking care of yourself when you need to. But I'm hearing for some of you, that's really important with the food thing, so research that. Also, you might want to look up the blood type. There's something to be said about that in certain parts of the world, why certain foods work better. And also for some of you, it's just journaling in general, like writing like songs or stories or whatever it is. Like I'm just hearing that journaling is your best friend. And you'd be surprised how, Anna, you gave me this journal how long ago? You'd be surprised how fast you can fill up journals. You'd be surprised how fast you can fill them up, especially automatic writing. So, when I looked up, it was 2 hours and 2 seconds. So until next time, I love you so much. I'll see you later. Bye. Love you, love you, love you. Anna, and I will respond soon, and I will send you the address. Okay, you guys, I love you. I'll see you later. Bye.